little chefs. Now I asked you guys, what would you like to see me make during our basics series? And it seems like quite a few of you guys would like to know how to make, well, the basics of soup. So today on Cooking with Awesome, I bring you Soup 101. We are going to be making a very basic potato leek soup. So there's a lot of stuff that you can do with the potato leek soup. So I'm going to show you the basics and then give you some pointers on what you can add later on. To the kitchen!
First thing is first. Get that chef's knife awful sharp and slice and dice yourself some leeks. Now, depending on how big they are, you can use as little as 2 or as many as 4, but do make sure to stick those into a bowl of cold water to get rid of any dirt. Now, I never make soup without using sweet onions because caramelized onions unnumb me, so go ahead and dice some of those on up. Now, in a very large soup pot, go ahead and melt down 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter and add your sweet onions with a very large pinch of salt. Go ahead and stir that to coat. Next, rinse out those leeks and make sure there aren't any pieces of nit and grit in there. That does not taste good in soup. Next up, peel and dice about 2 to 3 potatoes. Now, since this is going into a soup, we do want to make sure to cut these really tiny. That will just make them cook faster. After about 40 minutes of letting those onions caramelize, we are going to work on the most important part of the stew, the roux. Add 3 tablespoons of flour and go ahead and mix that in really well. We're going to cook this for about 3 to 4 minutes or until it starts giving off this really wonderful nutty smell. Now, I typically like to start thickening my roux with about a cup of dry white wine, but you are more than welcome to use vegetable stock or kitchen stock. Go ahead and add the stock in batches though and make sure it's already heated. That way the pot doesn't have to play catch up while you're trying to make your soup. Once you've got all of the liquid incorporated, this is when you're going to want to go ahead and add in your potatoes and leeks. And if you want to do a variation on the soup, now would be a good time to add in any additional ingredients. Things like carrots, turnips, beans, lentils, peas, really the sky is the limit. I typically also like adding fresh herbs like thyme to soup. Let that simmer for about 40 to 50 minutes or until the vegetables are completely tender. Now, if you want to make watercress soup, just add that 5 minutes before the soup is done. To puree the soup, I'm using an immersion stick blender, but you can also use a tabletop blender as well. Now, make sure to blend this incredibly well. I mean like 5 to 10 minutes. At this point, you can also make vichyssoise or cold potato leek soup. The only thing that you would need to add before chilling it is a cup of heavy cream. And to end, just go ahead and add a little salt and pepper to taste. I get a little fancy with my soup, so I'm adding just a touch of white truffle oil.
And there you have it, a very basic soup with so much possibility. Well, that's it for this week, little chefs. I will see you soon, and until then, take care. Mandatory.